Happy Halloween, folks. With all sorts of monstrosities wandering the streets this weekend, it's time for a spooky Top 5 special, and with that in mind, here are 5 underpants ruiningly scary titles to play with the lights out. Back when I reviewed Alien Isolation a few years back, I stated that it was the most oh my god I'm gonna piss myself terrifying thing I'd ever played, and I sort of still stand by that. This is all probably an illusion, you know, and I'm likely jabbering insanities to myself in a locker on Sevastopol Station still. But Alien Isolation succeeds in doing something no other game has. It does justice to the alien itself. It hunts you with nerve-shredding unpredictability, crashing in and out of your dimly lit world with reckless abandon as your tracker bleeps a requiem for your imminent death. And I can't play the game in long spurts. The tension is so unbearable at times that when I die in-game, it's as though a pressure valve has been suddenly released, my heart explodes, and I have to stagger away from my PS4, desperate to engage with something else, like a cat or a teddy bear, before coming back again. It's an exercise in exquisite psychological torture. Oh, Condemned. Picture the scene. You're hunting a deranged serial killer through a dark warren of tunnels when you notice a fire axe on the wall. Now you've already got a serviceable weapon, so you decide to save the axe for later, right? However, after coming back a couple of minutes later, you find it's missing, nowhere to be found, and there's only one real conclusion. Someone's picked it up and is waiting for an opportunity to leap out from the shadows and hack you to bits with it. Condemned Criminal Origins excels at these little double-take moments of creeping horror, casting you as a perfectly normal bloke who's thrown into an impossibly terrifying nightmare, and best of all, it leaves most of the story to the imagination. Are you going insane? Are you the serial killer? Did that mannequin just move? Oh god. Do you know what's scarier than a mannequin though? Cameras. Making your only weapon against ravening spirits a camera obscura is a wonderful way to really scale the bejesus out of you, and the Project Zero/Fatal Frame series plays marvellously upon this central mechanism, forcing you to literally look your terrors in the face and confront the fiends that stalk the game worlds. You end up fumbling around desperately trying to get the perfect picture of the ghouls and phantasms that plague these titles, which usually means letting them come super close to attacking you. But what's most terrifying about Fatal Frame 3 is that these spirits from a nightmarish realm end up infesting the house of protagonist Ray as her bad dreams begin to bleed into reality. Her one safe place transforms into a waking hell, one that's constantly shifting. To this day, because I'm a massive wuss, I've still never managed to actually finish it. System Shock 2 is one of the greatest games ever created, let's just put that out there, and it wrote the manual on how to do sci-fi survival horror. It's probably the closest thing to an Event Horizon game we're ever going to get, and it succeeds because it's creepy on so many different levels. Enemies are randomly and continuously respawned throughout the levels, with well-trodden areas often re-infested by undead ex-crewmen who'll shriek apologies at you even as they try to brutally murder you. The atmosphere in the game constantly works to keep you on edge, with the corridors of the spaceship Von Braun filled with the sounds of all too human terror. Hearing cyborg nurses singing lullabies to the children that they've murdered themselves is about as creepy as it gets. Now, System Shock 2 might be a little bit dated now, but it's still got the power to send shivers down your spine, and in Shodan, it's got one of the greatest video game antagonists ever. Still, at the top, it's one of the most clever, mind-bendingly creepy games ever made. For me, Silent Hill 2 is the pinnacle of psychological survival horror. It's a symbol-stuffed experiential musing on one man's guilt over the assisted death of his wife, and it's a game that leaves much to the imagination, forcing the player to try to come to terms with what the disturbing horrors that lie within represent. It's not a game about jump scares and cheap adrenaline rushes. Instead, Silent Hill 2 toys with your fraying nerves in a whole bunch of ways, bathed in a chilling soundscape that stands your hairs permanently on end. Oh yeah, and there's Pyramid Head too, and the nurses, and the mannequins, and a whole bunch of other disgusting creatures. It isn't necessarily a game that will make you jump out of your skin, but Silent Hill 2 sits with you, it eats at you. This story of guilt and madness makes you turn things over in your mind, and it's chillingly effective, frequently bonkers, and coupled with a control system so clunky, it'll make you feel like you're genuinely going insane. It's undeniably brilliant though, and you should probably play it. And hell, if you've already played it, play it again. Those are just my shouts though. What are your favourite scary games? Hit me up in the comments, we'll be back very soon with more Top 5. Till then, happy Halloween folks. Bye!